Welcome to the Dice Tower. This is actually a peek inside one of the sections of my house where we play a good majority of our games. This actually here's a poster that we used to promote the Dice Tower board games at Camp Casey. Over here on this bed, which we mostly use as a guest bed, but these are currently games that are trashed or about to go out. Either I'm going to get rid of them for some reason or another, or I just absolutely despise them. Either way, I'm probably going to get rid of them all. But into the room that really matters. Ooh, it's dark. Let's get the lights on. This is the game room. I apologize a little bit about the mess, but let's look around the game room. First, over here, this is my shelf of games that need to be reviewed. So all the games here, you should see reviews on them eventually, although occasionally a game leaves this shelf and isn't reviewed, or a game will be stuck here forever and a day. Over here are some of our extra equipment that we use for the Dice Tower podcast. A few extra speakers, and this is my backup shelf if I ever need more board games. Over here are my board game books. A little bit of role-playing stuff there, but I'm not a real big role player, mostly just because of the commitment of it. And then here's a whole pile of games of all different shapes and sizes. It's really difficult, look at that Geometry's box. Where am I supposed to put that thing? And so, just hard to put everything in. Here is a bin, and these are games that I took recently to the kids board game club. Spinning around over here on the wall, you can see Dart Wars. I have nowhere else to put it. And then above it, ooh, Chairman of the Board. Origins 2006. I got killed in it in 2007, but maybe I'll get it this year. Here's more odds and ends games, mostly just weird shaped sizes that I don't know where else to put them. And then over here is a shelf that I'm really pleased with, and that's my kids game shelf. Here you can see all kinds of kids games, and my kids love this. There's so many games here for them to play, and just lots and lots of different games. Well, I got Carbon in the bottom, but for the most part, this is solely kids games. Next to it, more odds and ends that don't necessarily fit on the other shelf, but mostly they have the same size boxes. But then we have my Wall of Wonder. This is where most of the games we play comes from, and because the boxes are fairly the same size, they're very easy to fit on the shelf, especially these games here. This is my favorite size box. Well, maybe the square boxes that Days of Wonder and Fantasy Flight use are, but these boxes just stack so neatly. Some games I place up on their side like that, but I'm not a real big fan of doing it that way, if only because I don't like how the pieces all fall to the one end of the box, even if they're in plastic bags. But it makes them fit better on the shelf, so that's why I do it for some of the games. And so you can see all kinds of games here. Here's my Carcassonne shelf, and above it is the Fantasy Flight Silverline, what's left of it. And then some more square boxes up here. Over there is that Avalon Hillside, one I'm not real big fan of. There's a few games missing here and there. Here's my Cosmos 2-player line games. More Avalon Hill stuff down here. There's my giant games in the bottom. And a bunch more. Then over here is a shelf that I found this on the side of a road one time. This is basically card games. All different sorts of card games. And they just fit really well. On the bottom, I keep these card games in different, those white baseball card boxes. Works pretty well. But for the most part, these are all small games. And I keep a lot of them in these plastic containers. And then I have another shelf of card type games. And of course this shelf's getting emptier because a lot of the games I don't like were on it. Here are our cabinets in a sense. In this top cabinet right here, this is my piece drawer. All throughout here I just have tons and tons of extra pieces to games. Anything that you can imagine, all the extra pieces that came from games, or little toys that I find, or miniatures, or whatever I think might fit into a game, it finds its way into this drawer. Directly below it is the card drawer. You never know when you might need to make your own game or to make your own deck of cards, and so I have all kinds of extra cards or card games that I've thrown out. What's underneath that? Oh, War Angel. And there's a few other things around here. I have my supply drawer where I keep paint and blocks and rubber bands and our tape measure and knives and lollipops, but I'm not sure why they're in there. I got my calculator up here, and then here are my carrying cases that I carry everything around in. Here's some of the plastic cases for HeroScape. In fact, on the bottom there, those two bottom bins are chock full of HeroScape. On the table are some games that we've recently played, and then over here I'm trying to figure out what to do with all my memoir stuff. I'm going to try and fit it in this box, but I want to make the box, instead of it looking like a boring, computer paper box, try to make it look like a memoir box. Pain in the neck. They really need to make a memoir carrying case. But that's basically it. My game room. I know that there's collections all over the world that are much larger than this one and likely much more interesting than this one. But this is where we play a lot of our games. We play them mostly right here on this table. I have another table, but this is a fun game room. It's enjoyable. It's really cold right now, and I hope you've enjoyed this little tour. Until next time, this is Tom Vasel from the Dice Tower.